Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to be guiding you through today's breakdown because we are setting the stage for what promises to be, without a doubt, the single most dramatic day of the entire group stage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. If you've been following the tournament with us, you know the stakes have been steadily rising. But today is where the pressure cooker officially whistles. We're talking final standings, knockout stage dreams, and literal legacy-defining moments, all converging into one massive, unforgettable schedule of football.
All right, let's dive right in. 6. That's the magic number today. I really want to emphasize the sheer volume of action we've got on our hands. We have 6 simultaneous matches happening across 3 different groups, and every single one of these storylines is going to be completely decided by midnight tonight. This isn't just your standard match day, folks. This is total, unfiltered football chaos.
Here is how this absolute gauntlet of a day is going to play out. We kick things off at 3 p.m. Eastern with the heavyweights in Group I. Then, as the evening sets in at 8 p.m., we transition into the absolute chaos of Group H. And finally, at 11 p.m. Eastern, we wrap up the night with pure desperation in Group G. It's a perfectly structured build-up, taking us from the afternoon kickoff right up to a midnight climax. Let's start by unpacking Group I, the heavyweight blockbuster. The math for Group I? It is crystal clear. This afternoon features a pair of clashes, but let's be real, all eyes are going to be glued to the marquee matchup taking place at Gillette Estadio in Boston. France and Norway are sitting perfectly at the top with 6 points each, having cleanly dispatched Senegal and Iraq. Both of these European squads are already safely through to the next round, but hey, don't let that qualified status fool you into thinking this is going to be a friendly. No way. They are battling for massive international pride and strategically a much softer draw in the knockout brackets. Whoever wins gets the easier path, so they're going all in. This game is framing up as a spectacular, pre-knockout face-off between the two most dangerous, lethal strikers at this entire World Cup. On one side, you have Kylian Mbappe, who, let's remember, has just broken France's all-time World Cup scoring record and is playing in the absolute form of his life. On the other side, Erling Haaland, the terrifyingly prolific Norwegian striker who has his team scoring for fun. It's literally the blockbuster nobody expected we'd get this early in the tournament.
So what are the source materials saying about how this clash of titans will unfold? Well, we've got some incredibly bold predictions. First off, expect both Mbappe and Haaland to find the back of the net. I mean, this is exactly the kind of stage they live for, right? However, the analysis predicts that Didier Deschamps' impeccable defensive structure, combined with France's overall squad depth, is ultimately going to overpower Haaland's individual brilliance. The predicted final score here is a classic, a 2-1 victory for France to secure that top spot.
But we absolutely have to address this massive hot take coming directly from the analysis regarding Norway. The sources state quite neutrally that if Norway manages to pull off an upset today against a team like France, given their terrifying recent form, they instantly become the dark horse pick to win the entire World Cup. It just highlights that an incredibly hungry Erling Haaland at a major tournament is a very, very scary prospect for literally any opponent.
Meanwhile, as the heavyweights battle it out in Boston, let's briefly touch on the simultaneous match happening up in Toronto. With 0 points each, it's what we call a dead rubber. Both Senegal and Iraq are officially eliminated, but they are playing for pure pride. The source material is predicting a 3-1 win for Senegal, and it's largely driven by this beautiful narrative of Sadio Mane scoring an emotional farewell goal at his final World Cup, just giving the fans one last magical moment to remember.
All right, moving into our 8 p.m. Eastern primetime slot, Group H, wide open chaos. Now, this mathematical scramble is an absolute mess, in the best possible way if you're a neutral fan. Every single team here is quite literally fighting for their tournament lives. Spain is leading the pack with 4 points, meaning they only need a draw tonight to lock in their spot. But look who's right below them. Cape Verde and Uruguay are tied on 2 points, and Saudi Arabia is right on their heels with 1. This means Marcelo Bielsa's highly touted Uruguay squad, they are facing an absolute must-win scenario down in Guadalajara.
Which brings us to this frankly shocking reality. 2 points. That is all a traditional tournament heavyweight like Uruguay has managed to scrape together so far. They've suffered deeply frustrating draws against Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde, putting them teetering on the absolute brink of a disastrous early exit.
So how does this pivotal match play out? Well, here are the bold predictions outlining the flow of the game. First, definitely do not expect Spain to just park the bus. The analysis asserts that Lamine Yamal and the Spanish squad simply have too much pride to play defensively, even though a draw is totally enough for them.
Second, for Uruguay, the prediction is that striker Darwin Nunez is finally going to break his frustrating run and score. But ultimately, Spain's sheer quality is predicted to overwhelm Uruguay, leading to a 2-1 Spanish victory.
And if that prediction actually holds true, we have to look at this blistering hot take directly from the analysis. Quote, Uruguay under Bielsa has been a massive disappointment. Impartially reporting on the source's view here, the core argument is that a team with this much squad depth simply should not be struggling the way they are right now. If Uruguay crashes out tonight, Marcelo Bielsa's revolutionary project is going to face its biggest crisis to date.
And over in Houston, we have a match that brilliantly illustrates the other side of Group H. Cape Verde, the tournament debutantes, are actually seeking a miracle second-place finish. That would be an incredible fairy tale, advancing them straight to the round of 32. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia is desperate for a win just to have a tiny glimmer of hope of sneaking through as a third-place finisher. It is a clash of total desperation.
Finally, we hit the 11 p.m. Eastern matches. Group G, fight for survival.
The source material defines this as the absolute most chaotic group of the entire World Cup. I mean, look at these incredibly tight standings. Every single team still has a mathematical path to qualification. Egypt currently leads with 4 points and just needs a draw tonight to advance. Meanwhile, Iran and Belgium are sitting on 2 points each, locked in desperate must-win scenarios to guarantee their survival. And New Zealand, they are still miraculously alive with 1 point. It's anyone's game.
The bold predictions for the Egypt versus Iran clash visualize an absolute thriller unfolding in Seattle. Because Egypt only needs that single point for a draw, they are predicted to play a highly conservative, classic tournament management style, just absorbing pressure and looking for a deadly counterattack. The source predicts Iran, who are desperate for a win, will actually shock Egypt by scoring the first goal early on. But ultimately, it's predicted that Mohamed Salah will find a decisive, magical moment to secure a 2-1 victory for Egypt.
But while that's happening, there is a parallel crisis unfolding in Vancouver. As the source material points out quite bluntly, Belgium's golden generation has been a complete letdown. After drawing both Egypt and Iran, megastars like Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku are now staring down the barrel of a deeply humiliating group stage exit against New Zealand. If they don't secure a result tonight, guys, it could spell the bitter, bitter end of their entire golden era.
Conversely, look at the immense opportunity on the other side of this group. If Egypt manages to secure that victory and actually top Group G, meaning they finish above a European giant like Belgium, the analysis notes that Mohamed Salah's status as Egypt's greatest ever player becomes completely, 100% untouchable. It would be a historic achievement for African football, cemented right there on the pitch in Seattle.
Bringing it all together, let's move to our final verdict. The stakes across all three of these groups are simply incredible as we hurtle toward tonight's midnight conclusion. We've got perfect records colliding, heavyweights facing early elimination, and debutantes chasing impossible dreams. Which brings me to you. I want to fire these massive questions directly to you. Does Belgium actually get knocked out tonight? Who truly wins the Mbappe versus Haaland showdown? And does the Cape Verde miracle actually happen? Drop your own predictions and hot takes down in the comments. I really want to see how you analyze the day we just walked through.
And before we wrap up this explainer, I have to tease what's coming next. Tomorrow is day 17, the absolute final day of the group stage, and it features Argentina, England, and Portugal. I mean, what happens when the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi, faces his final ever World Cup group stage curtain call? Make sure you join us for tomorrow's explainer to find out. But I want to leave you with this final thought. Between Sadio Mane's farewell today, Belgium's fading stars staring down elimination, and Messi taking the pitch tomorrow, are we witnessing the end of an entire generation of football legends in real time? Keep learning, keep analyzing, and definitely enjoy the games tonight.